everyone. Just wanted to go over a few things from last week. I apologize for the delay in getting this up. It's been a bit of a crazy day. I have some quiz questions I'm going to go over, but first I wanted to just talk briefly about our discussion and things coming from that. Um, our quiz questions will go over some info from both of the chapters, so I won't focus on that. I do apologize. Most of you are going to see this long after tonight is past, but I did end up canceling our synchronous session. We were down to just a few people actually that were going to make it this evening, and it was a pretty interactive session. We were going to take a look at some various advertisements and um, kind of talk about buyer behavior, and it was really kind of the opportunity for me to show you some things, talk a little bit, but really have more participation from you guys. And I really didn't think it was fair to put the onus on just a few people to participate, and then have the kind of the secondary assignment was to then have a video for everyone else to view. So when only a couple people or a few people were going to be participating, that really just wasn't really a good option. Plus, there wouldn't be a lot of folks to participate. So, as I said in the email, I apologize to those that cleared their schedule for this evening, but it just made better sense to cancel that for tonight. I'm not sure exactly. I apologize. My cat is trying to encroach here. Um, I'm not sure exactly. That is a graded assignment. Synchronous session in each one of the HSAM classes is required. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to deal with that quite yet. But it's only been an hour or so since I canceled it, so I'll figure that out. So more to come on that. But I do want to talk a little bit about the discussion. This discussion board, the one thing that I think is important, and I had kind of put this in the feedback a little bit, but it can really help looking at research. Obviously, doing market research is an important part of any marketing department, but also looking at other outside research, like in this case of this discussion, looking at those research studies, finding that surgery patients in room with natural light can be treated with less pain medication, drug costs can drop. That's a helpful thing. But also, there are many patients now, outside of cost effectiveness, there are many patients, especially with the opioid crisis that's ongoing, many patients do not want to be treated with narcotics, or even if they, maybe want some pain medication, they don't want a lot of pain medication. If they can have a more pleasant setting that will put them in a state of mind that will require less pain medication, that can be a good thing. So, how can hospitals use this information, perhaps revise product design overall? So that's a good thing for hospitals to be able to do. But then, how can marketers take that information and turn it around to, say, sell to patients? Hey, patients, look at this great info that we have. We have the ability to, provide a more vibrant, um, life-giving, healthful situation for your post-op recovery. Then on the flip side, maybe even marketing that to payers when they are doing their contract negotiation for payers. Hey, payers, look at this. We're putting patients in these rooms where they are in a situation where they're receiving X% more natural light each day, and this allows the patients to use X% less pain medication, etc. One caveat that I will state is that there are patients that won't care. They may be turned off by the fact that they won't be able to have their little morphine button where they push the button every time they need morphine after they've had a major abdominal or a major thoracic surgery. That can be problematic as well. So you have to balance that, and that's where you can go back to those, as we talked about last week, go back to those focus groups, start talking to your patients, get to know the patients that you've had in the past, Would this type of thing be attractive to them? Would they be interested in this? If this was something that was offered to them, would this have changed their mind about coming there? Would it not have changed their mind? Would it made them more interested in coming to their facility? That's what market research is all about. So just an interesting thing to look at. So let's talk a little bit about our quiz. So there were, let me see, how many did I pick? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 questions I picked to review. So the first question was a brand. Of course, this doesn't even list which was the correct answer, but I think I can answer that. So a brand identifies, excuse me, a brand identifies the attributes of the product. So this was a true-false question, and the answer to this was false. So if you answered true, you're incorrect. A brand actually does not identify the attributes of a product. A brand identifies the attributes of the seller or the maker of the product. So when you think about a brand, think about something like Kleenex or I'm trying to think of another one that we don't associate immediately with a product. Toyota or what's another one? Target. That's a store, but it's a brand. So when you think about Kleenex, Kleenex is a good one because Kleenex sells tissues, but they also sell other things. So a lot of times we'll call a tissue a Kleenex, especially depending on what part of the country you're in. But a tissue isn't a Kleenex is a brand. And they sell other things other than tissues, but Kleenex is the main brand that many people associate with tissues that you would blow your nose with, but it is not necessarily just tissues. Kleenex is the brand of other things as well. So brand is that. Now, when you think about things like Toyota, Toyota is the brand, but they make many types of cars, Camry, et cetera, et cetera. Lots of cars, RAV4, many models of cars. Those are the products, but Toyota is the brand. So let's turn it around and think about it in our industry. Mayo Clinic, we spent a lot of time looking at that last week. So Mayo Clinic, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, Mayo Clinic is the brand, but that's not their product. Their product is healthcare. So Mayo Clinic is the brand, product is healthcare. So when you think about brand, make sure that you're keeping that at that level, that high level of the seller or the maker. That is the brand. Okay, next one. Speeding up delivery is an example of which type of marketing program modification? And there were several answers. The correct answer was services. And this was discussed in your textbook in one of our chapters. There were 2 chapters this past week to read. But the correct answer was services. And so when you think about, okay, you're going to modify your marketing program in some way, and if you're going to modify it in some way to impact services, these are what types of services can an organization provide to stimulate sales. So that's what we're thinking of here. So in this case, a service that you could provide is to speed up delivery. So you might be able to speed up delivery, you might be able to provide better customer service, you might be able to provide maybe one-on-one training to somebody, you might be able to provide, there's all kinds of different things that you could do to impact that services sector. However, the answer that was answered most frequently, other than services, was distribution. And I think it was because it was about speeding up delivery. So there was assumption that the answer was distribution. Distribution is really about distributing product. So how do you distribute product through your current channels? How can you improve sales in those current channels? So how can you sell more product in your current channels, and can you distribute product to new distribution channels? So Can you expand into new areas, etc.? So it's not getting product out faster, which is what we're talking about with service. It's, can you sell more product or in your current distribution channels, or can you expand into new distribution channels? So our correct answer, speeding up delivery, is an example of what type of marketing program modification? The answer is services. Okay, next one. Growth alleviates the need for marketing of services, true or false? And the answer is actually false. Growth in an industry, etc., is actually going to lead to an increased focus on marketing because it complicates the situation. When an industry grows, when a company grows, you're going to need to focus further on marketing, perhaps. And when your industry started or when your company started, you focused on mass marketing. You just said, here we are, come and buy from us, come and get stuff from us. But then as you grow, you might need to focus your marketing. You might need to do some segmentation. You might need to do some targeting. So it doesn't eliminate or alleviate the need for marketing at all. It makes marketing more complex. So it's actually quite the opposite. It doesn't alleviate the need for marketing at all, and it actually makes it much more complex. Next question. A facelift is an example of which characteristic? And there are 4 answers: non-durable good, durable good, intangible good, or perishable service. And the answer to this question is intangible good. So an intangible good is something that cannot be, it's intangible. It can't be sensed by one of your senses. You can't smell it, you can't taste it, you can't feel it, etc. Can't hear it. And it's perhaps others have already experienced this, but your experience and their experience could be very different. So my mom may have had a facelift, but maybe I'm getting this droop here and I want to go and have a facelift. So if I want to go and have a facelift to get rid of my wrinkles that I have coming in, even though my mom may have already had that facelift to get rid of these wrinkles here, her experience may have been like that it came in great and it just got rid of these wrinkles. Mine could be that, I end up looking like this or something, who knows. So my cat's trying to come in again. So it's everybody's experience with an intangible good could be very different because it's just that, it's intangible. It's something you can't smell, you can't feel, you can't taste. It's very, everyone's experience could be very different because it's something that's just very amorphous. So that is that one. The last one is most brands are in which stage of the life cycle? Sorry, I'm blocking the camera. So the stages of the life cycle: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. And so most products are in, or most brands, sorry, are in the maturity stage of the life cycle. And this is the longest stage of the life cycle. And this is a point where during that maturity stage of the life cycle, products can actually stagnate. It can become problematic for marketing, but it is the longest stage before they reach decline. So it can become difficult for marketing in that stage, but it is a very long stage. So that is where actually where most products live within the life cycle. So that's all I have for this week. Let me pop over here into week 6 quick and take a look at what we have. So a couple of things in our week 6 discussion. I haven't popped in there yet. I'm actually planning to do that now. I actually have an extra hour this evening, so I'm going to plan on popping in there tonight. I'm not sure if anyone has posted yet or not. Keep in mind when you're doing your discussion for this week, you are posting as the Chief Marketing Officer of a health plan, and I think I mentioned this in my video recording in Flipgrid already, but you are not posting, this is not a hospital, or you are in the payer setting. So I sometimes get some confusion on that. Also, for our written assignment this week, we have the um, article Bitter Pill. Now, you may have already read Bitter Pill. I actually have Bitter Pill in one of my earlier classes, and I know that I'm pretty sure that some of you have taken that class. So if you've already read Bitter Pill, you certainly don't have to read it again. You can just skim it. It's an article that a lot of people enjoy, so if you want to read it again, go right ahead. But it's take a look at that article, an article from Atul Gawande as well, related to pricing. So I just want to get you to think a little bit about pricing in the healthcare industry. Atul Gawande's article is kind of written from the industry perspective a little bit. Bitter Pill is very much an article written from the layperson's perspective. There is really some inaccuracy in there with regard to how the industry operates. But I think it is really important to look at Bitter Pill because that is the way that most folks think about the industry when they are treated badly from a pricing perspective. So, and there is some accuracy to it. It's just when they talk about the charge master and they say, there's a lot of talk about the charge master and how they make it seem as if hospitals are truly just out to take money from people by um, under this what they call this terrible charge master, which is the charge master is really nothing more than a hospital's list of charges. They make it sound like it's some terrible conspiracy to take money from people, and it's really not. But anyway, there are some issues with predatory pricing in the healthcare industry. So those are certainly important for you to read. We also have a day in the life interview this week. So lots of stuff this week. And hopefully the hour that I gave you back this evening might help you out a little bit as well. So any questions, please let me know, and I will look forward to talking to everyone throughout the week. Thanks so much.